So frauds. What are frauds? That is the big question. The word gets slandered and thrown about in a lot of medias, and a lot of people are called frauds. So what does a fraud actually mean? So frauds are a type of people who claim to have something and they basically don't have that. So basically another word for imposters. They go about fooling the people around them in faking something they have or don't have. Like in media, powers, for example, King in One Punch Man would be a fraud. So basically what this video is going to be all about is talking about other frauds in anime. But I'm going to pull a trick from my old YouTube encyclopedia. If you don't subscribe in 3 seconds, this spider is going to appear under your bed. Now, King from One Punch Man is one of the most well-known frauds out there, simply because he's just so lucky. Like, the amount of times this guy dodges, like, close call moments with other heroes and basically avoids death is crazy. Like, his heartbeat, for example, they call it the King's engine, even though it's just his heartbeat racing because of how scared he actually is. And people call it the King's engine because they actually think it's a battle roar. This guy also basically takes all the credit for Saitama's monster kills. I'm pretty sure the only reason he ever became a hero is because he had a badass scar on his face from like one of the monsters Saitama was fighting, and he like eventually took out the monster, but it gave King a scar. But basically King's whole journey starts with Saitama, and the thing is he becomes a top ranking S-class hero even though, you know, he never shows to use his powers. Like, for example, one time in the manga, Atomic Samurai asked him to cut an apple, like, really fast, basically. And he cuts this apple, and, like, he doesn't even move the sword, but Atomic Samurai thinks he cut the apple so fast that, like, no movement was made, basically. So he just kind of gets out of things out of luck, and, you know, he's not really a fraud, because he doesn't really claim to have the powers. People just think he does. But overall, he is just a really lucky man, and a very good fraud at that. Now, Reigen is probably one of the biggest frauds I could actually mention. So basically, in Mob Psycho 100, he acts as Mob's mentor who teaches him psychic powers, but little does Mob know until the very end that he actually doesn't have powers, and is basically just been a fraud the whole time, using him for money. Now, Reigen's whole business revolves around exorcism, and Reigen can't exorcise spirits because he doesn't have any powers, so that's why he needs Mob to do it for him. And he basically gives him a little bit of money afterwards, you know, probably not enough. But apart from Reigen being a fraud, he is a really cool character, and I think he's probably one of the best in Mob Psycho 100. He kind of brings out the comedic side of the show and kind of lightens the humour a bit. But really, I made this video because I like Reigen so much, and I thought he would be really cool to include in this video. He's not the only fraud in this video, of course, but he's definitely one of my favourite ones. Now, Mr. Satan, compared to other humans, isn't exactly a fraud. He's just so weak compared to everyone else in his universe. Like, to give him credit, he is one of the strongest humans in Dragon Ball, and he does stand on business. Like that one time, he just stood up against Boo, and Boo is insanely powerful, by the way. He's a bit like King in the sense he won't back down, but everyone does know he's weak. He's a bit like King as well because he does take credit from Goku. Like, I'm pretty sure when Gohan defeated Cell, everyone just said Mr. Satan defeated Cell, and, you know, he got really famous off of that. Overall, he is still one of the biggest frauds in anime. I'd put him at, like, top 3 biggest frauds because the way this guy moves is crazy. But, you know, he stands up for himself, so fair enough. So the thing with Buggy is his whole career is basically built up upon luck. Becoming a Yonko was complete luck, and his actions were misinterpreted. And since Mihawk is under Buggy's command, everyone basically thinks that Buggy is automatically stronger than Mihawk. He gets compared to people like Kaido and Luffy, who are on a new tier of their own, and he is in that discussion even though he is basically a fraud and is completely weak. Buggy isn't known by his close comrades for his survival skill. He's mainly known for his charisma, and his real power is actually survivability. He's survived so much in the show of One Piece and got out of so many situations. Even the Marines fear him for, like, no apparent reason. Everyone just thinks he's this big bad guy because he's a Yonko, and that was by complete accident as well. So in all honesty, Buggy is a complete fraud. He is probably the biggest fraud on this list just on how much he's actually done. He's made, like, most of the people in his universe fear him. But anyway, that is going to conclude all the frauds we are going to cover in this video. And if you guys did enjoy, a like and subscribe would be appreciated. Also, guys, if you have any like video ideas you want to suggest to me, let me know in the comments. I'm open for suggestions because I do need new video ideas all the time, like at least once a week, because these videos, they do take a lot of time and thinking to make, especially like specific ones. I'm also thinking about extending my videos to make them longer. If I do have the time to do that, I will do it, because I've done it with a couple ones recently. But anyway, guys, that's all I'm going to be talking about in this video. If you guys did enjoy, make sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment if you can. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys.